2-1. We did it, Nick.
It was never in doubt, really.
Stop it.
It was never in doubt. You know, we're Arsenal. We love a bit of this drama. We were never going to go on a run of winning the last 11 games and winning the league without a bit of drama and a bit of helter-skelter, and that's what we do.
No, so I agree with that. I totally agree that we were never going to go the whole rest of the title race without moments of adversity, drama, and the question is whether you come through it. Yep. We weren't going to be 5-0 up at half-time in every game. But that was nervy. It was.
And I think, look, it was nervy because of Ramsdale. Let's call a spade a spade. If we take away that one moment, and I know in every game, everyone can say, take away this, take away that. If we take away that one stupid mistake, it's a comprehensive 2-0 victory at home against Brentford.
Yeah, you could say he made some big saves. They could have... I think for their efforts, they actually deserved a goal. I think first half, we did our usual controlling the game. They weren't really near our goal. They got into the penalty area, but they weren't asking really questions of Ramsdale. But second half, I think as we were like, okay, we need to find a winner here, they were sort of pouncing on that vulnerability of ours. So you could say, obviously Ramsdale made big saves, but you could say that the second half was a totally different game because of his own error.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I would say. I would say that if you take away that mistake, we do go on and win 2 or 3-0 rather comprehensively and comfortably. I do believe that. I said at the time when the player went down, I don't know if it was Wissa, went down with a head injury. And I said on the live stream, I said, this could disrupt our flow. We're in the ascendancy and we may see them come and put it on us and disrupt our flow. And Laurie and that said, no chance. That's not how it works. And they scored about 30 seconds later. That's what they're going to do. They know that if we play football, lots of teams are going to come here to the Emirates specifically, and their game plan is not going to be to play football. Yeah. Their game plan is going to be stop us from playing football. That's going to be the same when it's Porto on Tuesday, and that needs to be the message from Arteta.
And if you don't mind me cutting you there was an interesting stat I just saw doing the rounds on X that 101 minutes of football of football was, accounted for on the pitch. Only 49 minutes of it was actual ball in play.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Not surprising at all. We saw it Newcastle. Newcastle last season, I think it was the lowest amount of ball in play time. We saw it Porto for the game that we lost 1-0. This is what people are going to do. The way to beat us is to not let the ball be in play. Whether you're falling on the floor, whether you're kicking it out, whatever the case may be. That's why rather than we put a cross into the box and the defender could have probably headed it back to his keeper. He just headed it out. We can't score if the ball's not in play. That's what it is. But that tells me that teams are intimidated. Teams are scared. Teams are nervous, and it's a great place to be. It's been a good few years since teams have always respected us. We've had average. Let's call a spade a spade. Over the last 5 years or so, late Wenger, Emery times, we've had a fairly average team with 1 or 2 stars, and they're going to tell you what, if we shut down Aubameyang and he doesn't score, they'll do nothing. If we take Ozil out the game, they'll do nothing. But we've had an average team. We haven't been on FIFA. We haven't been a 5-star team, you'd call it on FIFA for about 5 or 6 years at least. Today, I believe that we are. We're there. We had it last season. People put it down to Liverpool having a bad season, having injuries, and actually we're not that good. We've come straight back. And we started off slowly this season and we're performing just as well, if not better. So we are a 5-star team at the moment.
Yeah, I love to hear that. That's going to be the title of your fan camp. Kai Havertz, a big moment. He's had a few big moments. Whether he's had a string of superb performances that justify a £65 million price tag. Now, what annoys me is when people say, stop talking about the price tag. No, you're right. It's not his fault. But that is on the club. That is part of the package. You got this player in and this is what we had to do to make that happen. But what I am seeing is a player who, I will give him immense credit for this. He does seem to rise for the big moment. He does seem to be one. I'm not just saying that because he scored a late goal. I'm saying that because actually, as we were watching that game, he was the one who started demanding the ball a little bit more. Come long to me. Let me see if I can put my body in the way. Let me see if I can drive us up the pitch a little bit. And it wasn't always a lot happening. But he did feel like someone who had an appetite for trying to dig Arsenal out of it. It's just his kind of languid nature makes me think he's not always really kind of in the thick of the wars. But he gets a big winner, and it's not the first time this season.
Look, we will talk about the price tag. We're fans of Arsenal Football Club. We think you guys probably spoke to Edu Gaspar. He said to us a couple of seasons ago, expect big things, hold us accountable. Josh Kroenke said the same thing. And so we are looking at the price tag. The more we spend on one player, the less we've got in the kitty to spend on other players. That's the reality of what it is. So we're not going to just ignore the price tag. That's ridiculous. We have to keep a check on these things. I said for a long time, the future of the club is about how we sell. If we do sell Ramsdale, it's got to be 50 million. If we were to sell Martinelli, it's got to be over 100 million. That's how we future-proof the club and build the club long term. In terms of Kai Havertz, 100%. I think that, again, in the past, we've had players like Ozil who have been a talisman player, players like Aubameyang who have been a talisman player, and they're real specialists. They're real specialists. And what we've got at the club at the moment is more generalists. We've got Jesus, who is not a 9 out of 10 finisher like Aubameyang, but is a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 in a lot of different areas. And similar with Kai Havertz, in the midfield, Ødegaard, I was going to call him Ozil, Ødegaard is a specialist at one thing. Declan Rice isn't even a specialist, I would say. He's so versatile. But with Havertz, yes, he can come short and receive and get on the half turn. He can drive with the ball. He can play up top. He's the ultimate utility player. Declan Rice, the same. He can be a 6. He can be one of the best 6s in the league, possibly the best 6 in the league if he wants to. Doesn't have to. He can go and play in an 8. He can go and get goals and hit the crossbar from the edge of the box. He can do so many different things. He can do so many different things. And we have so many versatile players in our team. Leandro Trossard is another one. You can sit in the midfield. You can play out top. You can play out wide. We have a lot of versatility in this team. And that is something to get excited about. So we will look at the price tag and we will hold players accountable, because ultimately, you know, players can run down their contracts nowadays. They're very wise about how they do things. And if we're not looking at the price tag, we're looking at the wages. You know, it affects how much we can grow as a club and what players we can bring in. So it's foolish to say that.
But he had a big moment.
100%. Listen, I'm very happy with him. 100%. You know, like you say, he's had a couple of big moments, and he's always been a player. I think me and you spoke about this when he first came in. We said he's going to be a player of moments. You know, what Chelsea never saw from him was consistency, and what he's given us at the moment is big moments and consistency. Actually, he's a player that we're beginning to get towards the end of his first season, mind you, although he knows the Premier League well. And actually, when things are tough, we're starting to look at him and go, you might get us a goal, actually.
You might get us out of this.
You might be the one to get us out of this instead of a Jesus, instead of a Trossard. So, you know, that's the expectation he sets on himself. And if he wants to be at the Arsenal for a long time, then, you know, we've got to hold him to that kind of standard. Yeah,
totally agree. You got the match-winning goal, but it was your match winner. Who is your man of the match, let's say?
Benjamin White, man. Benjamin White, unappreciated, underrated. I don't care about his situation with England. I don't care about that. I'm an Arsenal fan. 2 assists. And again, when you're needing players to step up, they were really difficult to break down. They might have seemed like very simple crosses. They were very simple crosses, but they were really difficult to break down. Well executed, well timed. You know, there's times they're doubling up on Saka. He cuts it back to Ben White. One was cut back. One was on the overlap. You know, so again, a little bit of diversity from him, and I think he was brilliant today. Yeah, totally agree. Ben White. I mean, Gabriel Saliba, brilliant as well. Yeah. Final question: yes or no? The title, will it be ours? Yes. Love it.